Hey everybody, welcome back to heartsathomeschool.com and welcome to our Prep to the Prep series. Today's day 3, so focus number 3, we're going to be talking about self-care and family wellness. Now, if you missed out on routines and stewardship training, be sure to check out those in the links below because you will definitely want those, especially if you're going to be starting a homeschool. The Prep to the Prep series is preparing before you even start preparing for homeschool. This is getting your life in order. Now, even if you don't homeschool, this is going to be a fantastic tool for you to get your life running smoothly so you can have the family culture and the life that you love. So today, focus number 3, self-care and family wellness. Now, we hear a lot about self-care nowadays, and I used to think that self-care was kind of selfish, honestly. Even now, when you think of the word self, it just sounds like it's something that is very self-centered and selfish. But we're going to be talking about how not only is this a perfectly normal, necessary part of life, and it's not a selfish thing, it is essential to your mental health and to getting everyone happy in your family, because especially parents, you totally know that we set the tone in our home, and if we are out of whack in some way, the whole family is a little bit off. So we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. It's our responsibility, and it also is a really enjoyable part of life, and life should be enjoyed. So to get started, here's what we're going to be talking about. We need to make sure that we are planning this, setting aside time, creating routines and habits that this is always being done. This is not something you have to earn. I remember as a young mom especially, I thought, okay, if I have time, then I will read a book I love, or then I will take a bath, or then I'll eat some chocolate, right? Or if I do my whole entire to-do list, then I've earned it, right? That is not what this is. This is taking care of yourself, recharging yourself, these are totally necessary things that need to happen so that you are working at your optimum, you're being your most productive, you're being focused, intentional, and giving your best self to your life and your family. These are not things that are like prizes I get at the end of whatever I'm doing during the day. These are habits that need to be in your life all the time. So first, when you're planning, look at your physical self. With our physical self, of course, we're going to be talking about our exercise, our diet, our sleep, and our stress management. With our exercise, typically for an adult, we think about 30 minutes a day. Of course, you can do a little bit more. If you're training for something, you're going to do a lot more. And if you have some major health issues, it might be a little bit less, but I'm going to tell you, even with health issues, of course, I haven't gone through everything, but I have had health concerns in my life and health issues that have prevented me from exercising in the way that I would like to exercise. But I will tell you, it is better to adapt and do some type of movement and exercise than nothing at all. Find a way. Unless your doctor has told you do not exercise, talk with your professionals, your medical professionals, your health professionals. Get some kind of movement and exercise that you're doing for at least 30 minutes a day. This is going to help so many things. I can't even tell you how much exercise has helped me in my life. Of course, you can tell I'm not like an exercise pro or anything. I'm not a fitness instructor. I danced professionally, and I just know for myself that exercise helps in so many ways. It helps with your immunity, it helps with your mental health, it helps with dealing with anxiety, it helps with dealing with pregnancy and post-pregnancy and just the stresses of everyday life and lifting kids and groceries and moving things. And it helps with everything. So according to your personality, according to what you like to do, but also think about what is going to get you even better than what you are now. You know, you always want to be kind of looking for a way to improve yourself. I always recommend people do weight training, even if it's light weights. This helps with bone density, it helps with muscle retention, it helps with so many things. But of course, you're going to want to get an exercise that you're going to want to do, right? So pick something that you love. I know for our family, we have an exercise time each day, so we make sure that we do it. But my husband and I do it a little bit differently. He's more into running and biking, and I'm more into dancing, so I tend to do HIIT training or a dance type workout, and then we rotate it with weights. And our kids either join us if they want to, or they do something that they like some of them just jump on the trampoline for 30 minutes, or some of them do gymnastics, tap dance. There's all kinds of ways to do it. So find what works for you. 30 minutes a day, get your heart pumping, and have a good time. And then next, we're going to be talking about diet. Now, this is not being on a diet. Anything you eat or drink is your diet, right? But when we're talking about having a healthful, caring diet for your body and really trying to get to your optimum, we're talking about a diet that is fresh, that is full of fruits and vegetables, right? Mostly vegetables. And you decide on your protein consumption, how you're going to get that, but you're definitely going to need some proteins and fats. And then also, I can't even tell you what year it was, but when we started moving a lot abroad, I realized that even though I kind of cooked from scratch, I used a lot of canned foods, which I did not realize until we couldn't get canned foods. And then I was like, oh, well, I have to get it fresh. And not only fresh, but it was usually from a market, like super fresh, like an outdoor market, right? In areas in Latin America. So I started cooking in a way that was different than what I had before. Instead of using spices in a jar, I would use spices actually pulled out of a garden. You had to wash the dirt off of it, right? The same with most of my produce, and even a lot of our meats and eggs and things were locally sourced and really super fresh. And I know people talk about this all the time, and I kind of always thought, oh, you're selling me something, but it does make a difference. I can tell you in the way you feel, the fresher the better, right? Now, we have our own garden now, and we'll talk about that later on in other series, but yeah, if you can get it fresh, even better. Making sure that you have a great balanced diet and making sure that you have enough of everything, you're eating sufficiently, that you're not skipping meals. You know, if you're into the fasting, make sure that you're looking that over with your medical professionals. I will talk about later what I think about those things in later resources, but find a diet that works for you, but that you can be consistent with, that you're not switching around to different diets all the time. Make sure that you're eating a lot and a lot and a lot of vegetables and fruits to get those vitamins, and water, tons of water, but according to like the 8 cups a day thing, that's a guideline, right? Some people need way more, some people need more, around 8 cups. I don't know that you ever need less, but maybe somebody does. Listen to your body about that. And then with your diet too, feel those levels of fullness and hunger, right? Sometimes we're just so mindlessly eating that we don't even think, am I really hungry? Or am I anxious? Or am I full yet? I haven't even been paying attention. I was just scarfing my food down. So that will help you maintain your weight, but it'll also have you have a more healthy relationship with food. But one thing I would say with busy parents is make sure that you're caring for yourself with your diet, that you're eating those good things for you, and you're eating enough. You're not forgetting to eat, or just saying, I'll eat later, or, oh, I'll just stuff this bag of chips down and it'll hold me over till I can eat a good dinner. Try to do your best to make some routines so you have really, really great, the best you can diet, right? And sleep. I used to think that, especially during college when I would go, you know, 3 or 4 hours every night and then work and school and do like tons of things extracurricularly, and I was still alive. I don't even know how I did it. And I always thought that I could kind of catch up, right, on the weekends with my sleep. And now with all the research I'm reading, I'm I'm really regretting all that. But plus, I've realized now that you just really can't catch up on sleep. It is so much better for your body, your mind, everything, if you can just have a consistent sleep schedule where you're always getting enough. Now, enough for you might be different than enough for me. For me, I have to have at least 7 hours. 8 is kind of my optimum, 8.5. My husband can do well on way less sleep. I don't know how he does it, but he's just amazing anyway, so that's probably it. And some of my kids are that way too. They can do well on a little bit, but all others are even more like me, where they need way more sleep, right? So that's another one where you're going to listen to your body. Now, with the listening to your body, please pay attention to those signals your body gives you. If you're getting headaches a lot, if you're getting a lot of aches and pains, you're just feeling out of sorts, mental fog, all those things are, if you're having pain or discomfort anywhere in your body, those are messages. Those are messages your body's sending you that something's not right. It could be your diet, it could be your exercise, it could be, now, of course, muscle soreness when you're weightlifting or whatever, you're gonna have a little bit of soreness with exercise. That means you're learning and growing, right? But if it's constant all the time and really intense, that's something you want to think about. Can you link it to something, or do you need to see a doctor and get an exam? Those are messages that are important. I wish I had also listened to myself more as a young person. With those messages, I could have avoided a lot of things that I'm dealing with today, like stomach issues and varicose veins and things, especially while I was pregnant, that I thought, oh, I'll just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'll just push through, push through, push through, right? Well, now my body is not liking me because of those decisions, because you keep pushing through, eventually something's going to give out, right? And of course, 6 kids too puts a toll on your body. But if I had listened more, I could have avoided a lot of the things that even now that I still deal with. Not as much, because I've worked with my diet and exercise to kind of heal those things and my self-care, but some I even now have to deal with and I have to really pay attention to. And if I don't take care of my self-care, whoa, they come back full force, right? So listen to those signals. Please, 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 please. Listen to those signals that your body is sending you that something is not right, so that you can make the adjustments you need to and take care of yourself. So before they become a huge problem, right? Then after we've taken care of, you know, that whole big physical wad of stuff that we have to take care of with our exercise and our sleep and our diet and our stress management. Oh, with stress management, be sure that you are not only realizing what the stresses are in your life, but number one, say no more. You really, not you, I'm saying for myself more than anything. I know for myself that when things are getting super stressful and I'm feeling way overwhelmed, it's because I said yes to too many things. And I have to watch myself on this one, because I love to help people and I love to do things and I love to grow and I love to learn, but you need to be human as well. And sometimes I forget that part. So remember that, say no first, really look at it, and then decide, okay, first of all, will it fit in with my family goals, my personal goals, my mission, my vision of what I want? And is it necessary? There's always a good, better, best to every decision, and you want those best decisions. They can be good, but if they're not really getting you to where you want to go, they're not great. They're not the best for you. So that's one thing I have to focus on a lot, is choosing those best things for me and my family and not just saying yes to everything that's good. Then also remembering to put in those constant stress management practices, like meditation. I don't really meditate in the traditional way. It's more like pondercation, where I'm thinking and I'm calming myself and I'm releasing negative energy. And I'm really focusing on working through my thoughts more than trying to get rid of all thoughts in traditional meditation. But everybody has their own way of doing this. I also, lists and planning and routines are really helpful for me, because then I can put them on a list and they're there and I don't have to think about them anymore, right? So that planning really helps. The last thing with the stress management that I always say with when working with clients are, what are your expectations? You need to have that vision and that goal and that striving goal where you're working for something, but don't get down on yourself and expect too much all the time, right? There are ebbs and flows in life, and there are things that come at you where you have to give yourself a little bit of grace. And also, don't get distracted by the world's expectations or what you're seeing someone else doing. That comparison will not only hold you down because it's not you, but it will also leach that motivation and that creativity from you so that you cannot move forward in the same way. So watch out for those expectations. I found with myself many times the stress is I'm just expecting too much, right? So after you've taken care of those physical things, the next thing to think about is to have some time to just be still. Be still, have that, like I was talking about, my pondercation time where I have time to just think things through. I have times to kind of be seeking for those answers. I pray a lot in seeking for answers and talking and sometimes commiserating with the Lord, but some people just choose meditation, they choose walks in nature. I also use nature a lot, and those things need to be planned to have consistent time. I have a morning routine and an evening routine where I work in my time to think about things, reflect on things, and also to, I would say, ingest good positive things as well. Where it's either scripture or it's a great podcast or something that's positive and it's leading me to those good things that I want in my life, those goals. So that's what I would say with the be still time. Make sure it's planned. Make sure it's part of your routine, and then you have some time away from distraction. Now, of course, you are probably like me. I have 6 kids. We homeschool. I work from home. My husband works from home. Sometimes things are nuts. And sometimes I cannot be alone. I just can't. But I can still be still. I can calm myself. I can think. I can give my kids something to do where they're beside me or they're sitting in my lap or whatever. But my mind is centering. I'm centering myself. That's really what Be Still Time is about. It's about centering yourself and finding, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I still need to find out on. I'm looking for these answers. What can I do about it? Come to some conclusions and then make a plan to move forward. That's what I'm talking about. So absolutely essential, that Be Still Time. You have your physical, you have your be still time, and the last one is enjoyment. Life is meant to be joyful. Life is meant to be wonderful and enjoyed, and sometimes we forget that. I know I do a lot, and I know that for the first few years of my mothering, I neglected this a lot. I would think, like I told you with my self-care at the beginning, I used to think I had to earn it, that I had to be worthy of it, that I had to finish all my to-dos, that if I wasn't the mom I was supposed to be or whatever, that I didn't deserve to do anything that I really loved to do. Or I would think, I need to keep going and get all these to-dos done. I have so much to do. I can't waste time doing things that I really love or doing things that are just fun, right? But now I realize that not only was that robbing me of life, it was also robbing me of efficiency and effectiveness because I wasn't motivated, I wasn't that fun to be around, and I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do those things. And I thought, what's even the point? You begin to lose your whole purpose. So when I started making what I call my joy list, you've probably heard of that before, like make your joy list of things that you just love doing those things. And it could be things that you just purely love for enjoyment. There is really not a productive thing out of it. But it can also be something that you enjoy and helps you grow too. Maybe it's learning to dance, or maybe it's knitting, I don't know, or maybe it's training for a marathon. I have no idea. There are a million things. For me, I know dance was a huge one because for a lot of years, I kind of just put it aside and thought, I don't have time for that. And when I started working it back into my life, it brought me so much more joy because I really love it. And also, it just helped me feel more alive. And when I started putting other things on my list and taking time for those things regularly, I wanted to do more. I wanted to help more. I wanted to be that great person. And I was creative and productive again. So take some time to really love life again. And if you're in such a down point in your life that you're thinking, I don't even remember what I love anymore, believe me, I've been there before. Just think about what you used to love. Start doing things that just you could do for hours. It seemed like you could do it forever and you would never get tired of it. Start again. And if you're worried, oh, I'll get obsessed or whatever, then set a time. I'm only going to do this for a half hour, and be scheduled about it or whatever you have to do. Or have somebody check in on you, have a buddy. But you need something that you just love. And you can work this in with family time too. I know there's group activities that you just enjoy to do too. And so work this in with family and friends and make this part of your routine and habits. But ladies and gents, I can tell you that if you are taking care of your physical body, if your exercise, diet, stress management, sleep, you don't have to be perfect. But you know, those goals, those striving goals, and make habits. Like we talked about with routines. I'll put those links in the bottom for your routines. And if you need to assign the kids to do more stewardships, that link too for the stewardship training, so that you have more time to really be you. And if you are taking care of those physical things, you have some time to be still and you have some time to be joyful, you're going to love life again. You're going to reach those goals. And all this other stuff that you're worried about, it will take care of itself because you are at your optimum. And this one is so important, especially if you're homeschooling. So important, because sometimes we're so focused on getting everything ready for our kids, teaching and organizing and planning and making sure that everybody's doing check, 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 everything they're supposed to do on their homeschool list. We completely forget about ourselves and our own personal growth and education, which we're going to be talking about next in our next focus. So be sure that you are caring for yourself. And this can be a family wellness program too. A lot of these things we do together as a family. Like I mentioned, we have an exercise time. All our meals are together, so we basically eat the same things. Mom and dad don't have a separate diet. So when everybody cleans up the diet, everybody does, not just mom and dad. And we also have time to be still together. We have time to enjoy together. So these are personal and family habits that need to be in place so that you can have a great life. We will check in with you tomorrow. We are going to have our next installment of our focuses for prep to the prep. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys, and you're going to do great.